Hi, this is Mark from Altcoin Buzz, and today we're going to take a look at Bitcoin along with a couple of the other altcoins that you asked us about. Be ready to leave those comments below on the altcoins that you'd like us to take a look at as we have some time throughout the week. But for now, let's get started. So here we are on the Bitcoin USD one-day chart. We've got a new box drawn in here right at this range between $7,250, call it, and $7,600. Looks like we're trying to find some support there. This is also going to be an area of resistance, strong resistance for us at the top. If we look at the VPR, the volume by price, you can see that there is a lot of trading volume in this area, which is going to provide some resistance for us. And then once we can break through this channel above $7,600, there's not a whole lot of resistance up into the $8,000 range. We have declining volume, which may mean a slowdown in momentum. Can we push through to the top of this resistance area at least so that we can settle back here as support? We're going to have to see. If we do stall out here, the next logical area to look at, in my opinion, is this previous swing low back here. It's a previous swing low back here in May and also created some resistance for us last week. If we were to break through the $7,000 price point, then I'm going to start scaling out and most likely be all out at about that 67.55, that critical hold point that we've been looking at for the last couple weeks. If we look at some of our moving averages, the 100-day moving average is sitting right at that level that we just talked about that I really don't want to see us break through. We'll have that resistance right in line with the 200-day moving average, so that's going to be some resistance for us. We have this downward pressure from the descending triangle at the same point, so a lot of pressure from above on Bitcoin's price point. If we go into the Ichimoku cloud, we are just getting into the cloud on the trading. The 21-day moving average is in the blue. The 50-day is at the red. That's where we're going to try and maintain. The bulls are going to try and defend that as a support area. That's the 50-day and the 100-day coming together. So it would be very nice if we could settle in there. And while this has been a gradual trend up, we're starting to lose some volume, starting to lose some momentum in these candles. I would not be surprised if we didn't to retrace back to that $71,000 to $7,000 that we just talked about, back to that previous swing low. But from there, I'd want to see a bounce off of it to come back up if that were to happen. So while I'm watching for those things, I am still bullish on Bitcoin, and here's why. For those of you that have been watching my videos for a while, you know I like the point and figure charts, and one of the reasons I like the point and figure charts is because it allows us to do a little bit of a horizontal count to give us a price target. It's fairly accurate. And so right now, the way that this point and figure chart looks, and this is essentially, just so you understand, this is just a compressed amount of price action, giving us a very simple look at the chart. It doesn't take into account time. These are not daily candles, hourly candles, anything like that. This is just merely price action on the Bitcoin chart. And if I do a horizontal count, which would happen here where we have these big swings both down and up, I get a price target of somewhere around $9,000 and $9,200, which again, this has been fairly accurate in the past. So with that, I'm still remaining bullish until I see a confirmation to the other side, which is going to be happening at these levels that we just talked about, this $7,000. If we see that retrace back down to that area, it'll probably give us a reversal on the point and figure chart as well. And so then we have to start kind of resetting on account. But if we can break above this 75, 76 area of resistance, then I'll be looking for that $9,200 count to come into play. Okay, so the next one you wanted us to look at was Pundi X. So let's take a look at Pundi X, the one-day dollar chart. And Pundi is sitting below a penny right now. You've got this trend line here that was sitting at about the half a penny range that you were trying to find as your support. And you can see that it just totally broke through that, came down and retested, didn't test the prior lows, but it did come fairly close at that 1/100th of a penny, call it. Now, that was a channel that you traded in for quite a while, and it looks like it's broken out of that channel and now is looking to regain its strength and come onto a new trend. And so you may be saying, well, where was that descending triangle? Did we break out of a descending triangle? Isn't it a positive? Can't we get a price move or some kind of price target from that? And no, we really can't. You didn't have a triangle in here anywhere. There was no base that this was really sitting on to give us a triangle, a descending wedge, or a descending triangle. You merely had a break of support and then a trading channel that came down, and looks like it's found its base here at the 1/100th of a penny, close to that. You've got some increasing volume coming into the market, and you've got some pretty clear resistance and resistance areas that you want to try and find a support. So you've got one right in here that you're hitting your head against right now at the 2/100ths of a cent. You're going to have another one over here about the 2.200ths of a penny. We're talking about fractions of a penny here, but but still in the chart, they make a difference, right? You don't start getting up into resistance until almost 3 cents. So you've got a little bit of momentum going in on, you've got some additional volume increasing on this coin. You've got some nice candle formations happening. You could call this potentially a little flag forming, a little bull flag forming in here. But you're not without resistance, and those are coming at micro pennies. You've got resistance coming, you're at resistance right now here. So one of the things on coins that have a very high supply, this one is in the multiple billions, is that the price movement doesn't go parabolic often like we see back in a few months ago. Once it settles in, your moves are going to take a lot of volume to push it up. I don't see a parabolic move coming in, especially with the temperature of the altcoins in general on this coin here, like you saw in the past. You would probably have to have some major news for that to happen. So I guess the main takeaway from here is that it looks like you've broken out of this channel that you had in here. What you don't want to have is this end up becoming just a flag, right? A little pennant and then continuing down. So I would be watching to see if you can maintain support right here at this, call it 1.8 hundredths of a penny. And if you can't, it may come back down and retest this 1.6 hundredths of a penny. If that becomes your support, you're good. If it breaks through there, then this is just a bear flag and you're going to continue back down. Okay, one last one before we wrap up. In the interest of time here, we'll look at Tron. Tron's fallen out of favor. There's a lot of people talking about how great marketing, not a lot of product, so take it for what it's worth. But you had this descending triangle here that you broke through. That was about 33% when it broke to the downside as a potential target, 36% call it, but you actually ended up somewhere around 40, almost 50%. You've got resistance coming in at about 2.5 cents, call it 2.5 to 3 cents. You've got another resistance area that's going to come in at 3.5 cents. One of the things that it looks like you've got forming is a descending triangle, which is not a great sign because typically you'd have some breakdown from this descending triangle. If we look at the volume by price, your support is coming in right at the price point, and you can see that we've got some support coming in right at that price. You don't have a lot of resistance if you can break through that, call it 2.5 to 2.7 cents. You don't have a lot of resistance before you get up to the 3.5 cent range. If this descending triangle does break down, it'd be a slower ride down to the 2 cent level, but if you broke through this 2 cents, you don't have any support to hold you. If we look at the Ichimoku cloud on the 21-day moving average, you're trying to find support there. You can see we've got that price action holding right in here, but whether or not you can hold support there is yet to be seen. Your next resistance is obviously right up in this 2.8 to 3 cent range. Hey, thanks a lot for watching again today. Please make sure you leave those coins below in the comments so we can take a look at a couple of those as we go along throughout the week. Also, make sure you visit us on altcoinbuzz.io and enter that contest that we're doing with CoinGecko.com, where you can win yourself a free Ledger Nano S, and Ethereum, or 200 Ripple. Also, please do me a favor, hit that like button if you found some value in this. Subscribe and hit the bell so you get alerted whenever these videos pop up. And until next time, may all your trades be good ones.